Here's why e-com owners are buying commercial property. The rise of e-commerce has created a massive demand for commercial, especially warehouses and man caves just like this. And here's the thing, a lot of smart founders are no longer renting them, they're buying, often with their superannuation. Let me show you what's going on. So e-commerce businesses are now running their operations through a commercial warehouse, not just for distribution, but also their office. These are places where they can store and distribute product, build a creative office, and where they can keep all of their team in one place. Let's use this as an example, a commercial property in Burleigh Heads that recently sold for $600,000. This property is 94 square meters. Now, instead of renting, a lot of founders are now buying the property either through their personal name, through a company or trust structure, or even using their superannuation through a self-managed super fund. Let's have a look at the SMSF strategy. Some business owners don't know that you can use your superannuation to buy property, but you may need 30 to 35% of the purchase price as a deposit. So on the property that we were talking about, you'll need between $180,000 to $200,000 as a deposit to make sure that you can fund this investment. So here's how it works. The super fund structure over here funds and purchases the property. Now it uses funds outside of the business to be able to purchase the property using either a loan or you can use outright fund. You can then rent out this property to your existing e-commerce business. Your business will then pay rent to your self-managed super fund, which means that your payments are going back into your own retirement fund. Yes, some goes to the bank. However, you're building up an asset over here. Now, let's compare this to renting. Right now on the Gold Coast, warehouses like these are renting for anywhere between $50,000 to $65,000 per year. At a $600,000 purchase price, assuming you had that 30 to 35% deposit, even with today's interest rates, your loan repayments would be similar or even less than the actual rent itself. So instead of paying that rent to a landlord, why don't you pay that into your retirement fund and into an asset that's hopefully growing in value over time? Now, here's why it's super smart. You're building wealth outside of the business through super, actually getting a capital growth in terms of the asset itself, and you're potentially saving tax on super contributions to fund the investment, whilst being in full control of how your business uses this space. Now, if you don't quite have enough money in superannuation, what you can do is make tax deductible super contribution. So you're able to top it up to reach the deposit that you need. Not only do you save tax, but you're able to potentially gain an asset that you wouldn't have had before. So here's the question. Why rent your warehouse when you can potentially own it? And do it in a tax-effective and wealth-building way. So if you're an e-commerce founder and you're growing and scaling your business and you want to turn your rent into your own asset, contact us and we can create a tailored plan for your situation. Now, this is not financial advice. However, if you do want financial advice and you need strategy, including tax investments, then contact the New Wave Group.